Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a good start to November. Kind of start this video off here, guys, ties right into that. This time of the year, I get a lot of questions that pertain to these 2 points. So let's start with the first one. The question that I get a lot is, do you hunt in November prior to a gun season without knowing if you have a target buck or not? So the answer to that is yes and no. To answer the question directly, yes. Guys, without these darn cell cameras before, you had to be, burning some seat time. But with them, it does help. I would say even a little bit more obviously than just a carded camera pull. One, it keeps you out of there, and we all know what they offer. The problem with it is, guys, is this. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus and say any names of any camera manufacturers, because I think they're all struggling with it. The ones that we have had and testing and what we've struggled with. It's not a secret here on the channel, guys. They miss so much. So if you're lucky enough to have good rut funnels, pinches this time of the year, stuff like that, you can probably, trust that your camera's in the right spot, and if they're going to come through there, you're going to get a picture of them. But are you going to receive the picture? So on average, last year, guys, and like I said, it's been a long journey here. So I've got a lot of testing that I could share with everybody. Not for finger pointing reasons, just to let everybody know what is really common with cameras and stuff. Last year, I was batching my pictures at about 10 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. So after the morning movement, I could make a plan for the evening hunt. And at 10 o'clock at night, I could, figure out kind of a game plan for morning. The problem with that is, guys, batching your pictures, you don't get all your pictures, and the reason for that is the server is so all across the board, right? Servers are servers. The cell companies are buying into them. Cell phone companies or cell camera companies are buying into them, and it's being used by the cell towers as regular cell phone towers. What happens, guys, is that it's hard to find a time that isn't busy that isn't going to interrupt the sending of the server sending. So what I had found is I was getting pictures, hopefully getting pictures at 10 o'clock, and what happens is let's just say you have AT&T or Verizon, but only one. What happens is they start to send, it gets busy, starts to get congested, and you get just enough pictures, but not all your pictures. Well, it might not sound like a big deal, but at the end of the month, we were averaging about, per all the cameras, we were averaging about not per camera, but total cameras. So I've got 20 with the farm and my leases, and we were averaging about 500 pictures a month. So, over that we weren't getting that were on the cards once we were pulling the cards and comparing what we were sent on the apps to the cards. So it's a machine, right? It's going to fail. So keep that into consideration when you're going into this time of the year. Are you really getting all of your information? Are you not? And something to keep in mind, guys, I think that even with the carded cameras, folks just put so much reliance, I guess, or rely so much on those cameras. But you got to remember that a lot of times we try to face these cameras north, and if you're hunting this on a wind that the wind is good for you, and the scrape is, there's a room for that buck to get downwind of the scrape. Are you getting his picture or are you not, right? Is he behind the camera? The 360 camera thing, I've heard, is kind of opening some doors there, right? So it's not that he's not there. It's just you might not be getting him on one side of the farm or the other because of the wind and thermal. So keep that in mind. So that's the first part of the answers. Yes, spend some time in the stands. Don't rely strictly on your cameras. But on the other hand, there's a pro to it. And the pro to it is exactly what I've been doing this week. I had some good friends in camp this week. that were hunting the bow first week of November, come down with their bows, and we had a really good encounter with one of our target bucks. Couple good encounters with him, and almost got the job done. And my farm here though, I've got a lot of good deer, but I just don't have. I passed up a 4.5-year-old buck with a muzzleloader. Really good buck, great buck. A lot of folks would have probably shot him, but I'm looking for that oldest buck in the neighborhood, and they're around. And what you do by not sitting in there and burning up a lot of time is you're letting the farm fill, right? You're letting your does be comfortable. You're not interrupting stuff in the morning. You're not interrupting stuff at night. So there is a pro to it, right? So I'm not saying don't hunt this time of the year with a bow prior to the gun season. I'm just saying there is a rhyme and a reason for both, right? So if you're not a gun hunter, well, then you can probably stretch that theory out by not applying too much pressure and spending a lot of time in the stand, because you're not, maybe you're not focused on trying to harvest that buck before someone else is with a gun. That ties right into the next part, the next portion, that next step of the answer here, guys. The next step is this. So the next question that I get a lot is should we hunt with a gun? Should we hunt a lot, and should we hunt all day? And should we kind of throw out a bunch of strategies that we had before, as far as AM versus PM, stuff like that? And the answer to that is yes. I would highly recommend still keeping an AM versus PM mindset. Obviously the winds and the thermals are always good for you, good for him. But you need to spend a lot more time, and that's the time of the year, guys, which we are going into that this coming weekend here. That's the time of the year that you do not want to put all your trust in the cameras, because what happens is it happens here on my farm every year since I've been here. It's happened on all my stuff that I had up north, all the areas that I've ever hunted in the Midwest, in Pike County, Illinois, all that stuff when we were guiding. It always happens. If you have a gun season in your area that comes in, whether it's a long weekend or a couple of weeks, like a lot of gun seasons are, right? What happens is, guys, is that's the opportunity to take advantage of some bucks that maybe are forced into your situation, or maybe the buck itself wasn't bumped, but the does were bumped, and it changes a lot in a community. Will they go back to their old ways? Absolutely. They'll keep going back and checking those home range areas or those core areas, like you say, right, or we talk about. But boy, the gun season, whether you're a gun hunter or not, if you're going to bow hunt during the gun season, which a lot of folks do, and I'm completely okay with that. I enjoy gun hunting, right? So, I mean, I enjoy bow hunting and gun hunting. I'm more of a bow hunter probably than I am a gun hunter, but I still enjoy gun hunting, whether it's muzzleloader hunting or rifle hunting or stuff like that. So, and I spend a lot of time. So, this week, I hunted some evenings, had a couple pictures that was like not real sure who that is, just some great weather fronts that you just can't, weather days that are just bucky, right? Just good weather days, and you just can't stay out of the woods. So I hunted those evenings. I had one night I seen 8 bucks and all young bucks and a lot of chasing. It was great, right? But I didn't apply a lot of morning pressure, because this week the mature bucks just weren't kicking in yet. We're still, the pre-rut, the younger bucks were doing everything first, and now all of a sudden, and it's starting to work, right? I'm starting to pick up some better deer, and some deer that are staying here longer. Picked up some new bucks, I think 5 new bucks this week, and it's all directly related to just not over pressuring it, right? And being that property in the neighborhood that just kind of soaks in everybody else's pressure. So I hope that answers a couple questions, guys. I like to do this video here starting this first week in November, before some of the, like our gun opener, like I was saying, starts this weekend. I like to touch on that with everybody. Michigan's November 15th. Wisconsin's going to be opening their gun season here. Thanksgiving, we've got the Illinois or the Midwest. Some of those shotgun seasons come in. Down south, a lot of like South Carolina and stuff. Maybe this pertains to this time of the year, the pre-rut and rut strategies. Maybe it doesn't, because the gun seasons are so long, so they're hunting rifle hunting or gun hunting down there before the pre-rut. So take this, advice for where you're at and kind of tune it in to what fits you. But the answer is this, guys. Anytime that you put an influx of people in the woods and the guns are cracking, and like up north, all of a sudden folks start doing deer drives, which I do not recommend. But if you are in one of those areas, boy, you can have some stuff show up that you just didn't plan on, or a buck that you haven't seen yet that has always been on the farm. Maybe he's running a week late, and the weather, like here in Kentucky, was hot right for this week. All of a sudden, you add some pressure and some guns cracking into that, and he'll show up. If he gets through the Orange Army, like we say, right? And I'm a member of the Orange Army too. So, but that's when stuff starts showing up, and it kind of can change the next 2 weeks if your gun season lasts 2 weeks. So, hope that answers some questions, guys. Great time of the year. We're gonna do a couple of really neat videos coming up here this weekend for you. And I got some guests coming into camp for the gun hunts here, and we should have some really cool stuff here coming for you, and hopefully lay a couple of our targets on the ground here. So it's just one of those years for me. I've got one 5.5-year-old buck. Had him at 45 yards one evening with my bow. Couldn't get the job done, and he's here, and I just haven't decided if I just want Kentucky with a one tag state, right? One buck tag state. It's like, do I really want to end it now or do I not? So not that I haven't had opportunities. I'm just waiting for maybe something to get bumped in that's a little bit better than what I've got consistently right now. So, like I said, guys, hope this one answers some questions. Best of luck to everybody that is going in the next couple of days or a week ahead here, maybe into those gun seasons. Stay safe first and foremost. And it's a time, I think, across the country as a whole that we get to spend a lot of time with family and friends a lot, maybe throughout the holidays and through the gun season. So take advantage of it, guys, and just remember these strategies kind of going into this time of November, ahead or just ahead of a gun season. Thanks, guys.